commentators are. The pumpkin. I'm wearing a tiny little hat because it's Shockz16 and it's his 700 subscriber special. He's answering questions for all of you morons. Oh, sorry, I changed the word moron for penises. Is that any better? Anyway, it's 700 subscribers and I've got this little tiny hat on. He's a good yardie, isn't he? From the London boroughs. What? What do you mean he's not from there? He's not from London? Where's he from? Nottingham? What do you mean he's from Nottingham? Well, the voices in my head have actually destroyed all respect for him, so I'm taking this hat off. And I am the pumpkin. And you are watching Shockz16. Enjoy. And make sure you touch yourself.
Hello everyone, Shockz16 back once again for the Renegade Master. So thank you very much there to the pumpkin himself for that great yet ever so slightly strange introduction to this video. So yeah, for those of you that don't know, about 9 months ago I surpassed 700 subscribers on this channel, and I asked all you lot if you'd like to submit some questions for a Q&A, which you did. Some of you even made videos, which was really awesome of you. And yeah, basically I took them and I did nothing with them, because this was like just a thing, like a special that I put on the back burner, and like other things have just been coming up, and I've had other videos that was already on the back burner that I wanted to put out before it. So yeah, 9 months have passed. And I do believe that I'm actually past 800 subscribers now as well, so good times. But yeah, anyway, because of a lot of you submitting questions, like I said, you submitted them on Twitter, Facebook, WhatsApp. Yeah, and like I say, some videos were sent to me as well. So I'm going to break it into parts, and this is going to be the first part, obviously. And this is going to be the video edition. So all of you that submitted video questions, you're going to be in this video hopefully. If I miss you out, just let me know and I'll knock it into the next video or something. So yeah, anyway, without any further ado, here is the 700 subscriber Q&A with Shockz16 part 1. Let's do this. So we're going to kick off with questions from Daz Cojones Deloro himself. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hello and well done, Adam. I'm not going to say hello, how are you doing, because it's not my video, it's Adam's video. So yeah, purely just for Adam this. Well done mate, congrats on the 700 plus, might even be 800 by the time you've uploaded this, subscriptions. You've been on the tubes a lot longer than I have, and you know, you should have double that mate, I'll be honest with you. I really do believe that. So as part of this video I'm doing some questions. Questions that will tax and strain the very sinews of your brain. Not really, just some random waffleage. Alright, so which game in your history gives you the most nostalgia kick? So it doesn't necessarily have to be what you own now or what you've been collecting for now, which we all know is Saturn stuff, but in your gaming history, so from when you first started playing to now, what's the game that gives you the most kind of nostalgia buzz? For me, everybody knows it's Shadow Dancer, but yeah, what would it be?
So the game throughout my video game history that gives me the biggest nostalgic buzz would have to be none other than Street Fighter 2. So yeah, it doesn't matter which variant, Super, Championship Edition, Turbo, whatever, just that game in general will be the game that gives me the biggest nostalgic buzz or kick. And that's basically because it's a game that's been with me all the way through my gaming history, since I was a childhood all the way up to adulthood now. So yeah, whenever I think of that game, I think of friends and the good times we've had. And like I say, because it's been there all the way through, it's different sets of friends. So it's been like childhood friends, teenage friends, adulthood friends, and friends from all over the place. Like even now, friends that I've met through YouTube, friends that I've met at work. So yeah, whenever I think of that game, I just think of all the great memories, and that's why it gives me the biggest nostalgic buzz. So that would have to be Street Fighter 2.
And I have a second question. If YouTube was to crash tomorrow and all the content was wiped, everything went, right? You've got nothing there. I mean, I back up all my videos anyway, so, you know, there's no escaping me. It'd all be uploaded again. But for you, if it crashed, you had no, you know, and you couldn't go back to your videos, they weren't there anymore, would you start again? Would you come back to the tubes, or would you just think, ah, fuck it, I'm not going to bother? And would your content or direction change if you came back?
Now, for your second question, if my content was deleted and cleared and I lost my channel and everything like that, I think I would come back to YouTube, just because I think I would miss it far too much, because I really do like uploading videos and stuff like that and interacting with the community and all that, so I would miss it. So I think I will come back. I think I'd have a little bit of a break and then come back refreshed and stuff like that. But as far as content and channel direction, I don't think it would be the same as this. I think I might have like something to do with video game, like a little side channel, like a secondary side channel or something like that, just so that I could still interact with people from the gaming community who obviously is only interested in gaming stuff. So probably just like a little side channel. But I think if I came back with a main channel, it would be completely different. Yeah, completely different direction, because it would be a fresh start. It'd be a perfect opportunity to do something new, and I like to try different things every now and again. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I've done this and I'm enjoying doing this, but if it went, then that would be the opportunity to do something new, and I think that's what I would do. So yeah, maybe I'll jump on board with this like vlogging stuff or something like that, because that's something that interests me. Do you know what I mean? Seeing just little parts and everyday daily life and stuff like that. I know some people aren't into it, but for me, that I find that stuff kind of interesting. And another thing that I really like is movies, so maybe I'll come back with something movie related. Who knows? But yeah, I would come back, but the channel direction would more than likely change completely. So thanks for your questions in your video, Daz, and hopefully I'll be seeing you soon. Now, can we have the next set of questions, please?
Right, so this is 3 questions for you, Shockz16 from the YouTube sensations. Now call yourself YouTuber of the Month. Puh, nothing compared to me, mate, nothing. I'll tell you what, question number 1, right, sleep, marry or kill Anne Robinson, Jabba the Hutt or Princess Leia?
Easy. Just go for the logical choice. Got to kill Jabba the Hutt, because I'd more than likely be the Han Solo of this universe. Do you know what I mean? And I'd owe him some money, and I don't want Jango Fett on my back. So yeah, just kill him off. Do you know what I mean? Get Jabba out of there before I end up in some carbonite. Anne Robinson. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I just. Do you know what I mean? I'd knob her. She's sporty for an old bird, so you know, yeah, keep her on as a side chick, do you know what I mean? But then marry Princess Leia, because she's fit.
Question number 2 for you, Shockz16. You say you're into The Running Man, Arnold Schwarzenegger's finest film, right? So, which of the hunters would you rather have hunting you? So, I don't know if they're called hunters, actually. Hey, you know what I mean.
Stalkers, mate. They're called stalkers.
So you got Buzzsaw, you got Fireball, you got Dynamo, and you got Captain Freedom. Which one of those would you rather have hunting you down to your demise?
Which stalker would I want hunting me? It's got to be Dynamo. Why? Because he's lit up like a Christmas tree and he looks like a bit of a pussy. I reckon in a bit of fisticuffs I can have the bitch. Do you know what I mean? I reckon sweet punch to his, I mean an English buttercup to his chin, and I reckon he's out for the count. I do. I don't think he's much of a fighter, which is why he hides in that car, which I must say is a bit of a ride. So, you know, after I do him over, I might have to jack his ride too. And hey, even if he gets the upper hand and he does kill me, he kills you with lightning. Do you know what I mean? Electricity, shocks by name, shocks by nature. So yeah, if I was to choose a stalker to come after me, it would be Dynamo.
And the last question, so this is question number 3, alright? Now listen carefully.
I'm listening, mate.
Claim to have a almost full Sega Saturn collection. Now how much money do you think over the period of time you, Shockz16, have paid for all those little games you've got up on your shelf? How much? Come on, tell us. I want to know. YouTube want to know. Everybody wants to know. Tell me now.
What's all this business? Okay, Mr. Gashead Steve. I'm not going to put an exact price on it. I have a rough estimate of how much I think I've spent on it. But yeah, I'm not gonna flash it out all over YouTube. It's not gonna work like that. But I would just say, yeah, it's been at least a grand or two, maybe a bit more. But put it this way, I started that collection 5 years ago, and I know for a fact that it's worth at least double what I've paid for it now, because games that I have got for like low prices are now like touching like mid-range games, and some of the high hitters now just whoa, the inflation on them bad boys have gone right up. On Power Sega Saturn, the games have gone right up. I imagine it's happened on other systems too, but yeah. So I've spent a good few grand on it, but in the long run I would say that I would never be able to accumulate a full collection. That's right, it's a full collection now. Yeah, I would never be able to have amassed a full collection for the same price that I have done it on if I was to do it again now. Anyhow, thanks for all your questions, Steve. Our next set of questions, I do believe, come from none other than Champion 2D Rob. So let's see what he's got to ask me.
Hey, what's up? This is Champion 2D Rob. How you doing, guys? This is a video congratulating Shockz16, aka Adam, aka the Renegade Master. Congratulations, mate, for getting that 700 subs. Definitely well deserved, mate. Okay, so I've got 3 questions for you. The first question: what were the games that convinced you that you liked games? Like, what were the first games you played that made you think, yeah, I love gaming, this is what I like doing, this is going to be my hobby?
So even though I was gaming from like the Atari 2600 days and then obviously progressed up to the Atari ST, I didn't really get into gaming, I would say. Like, I wasn't really that much into gaming until the 16-bit era rolled around. So it would have been games like Mario Kart and Mario All-Stars, F-Zero, already mentioned it, but Street Fighter 2, Mortal Kombat, games like that. Oh, and even games on the Game Boy, you know, like Double Dragon and Super Mario Land 2, they would have been games that got me into it for the fun aspect like that. But I'd say when I really started to get serious into games is when the PlayStation 1 era rolled around, and you kind of realised that gaming was more than just a pick-up fun kind of thing. It was also about storytelling and immersion too. And that would have been games like Silent Hill and Metal Gear Solid and stuff like that. So yeah, they would have been the games that got me into gaming and made me think, yeah, this is something that I'm going to be getting into and is probably going to end up being a hobby of mine.
Question number 2. What was your favourite arcade game? Like back in the day, up to today, whatever it is, what's the game that you love going to play when you're at the arcades?
So my favourite arcade game back in the day would have definitely have been Double Dragon. That game used to suck me in like a tractor beam. I would just used to, if I saw that game, I would just like, it was like I wasn't even walking to it, I was like floating on air to it. And yeah, it was the first game that I think I beat in the arcades, both in 1-player and in 2-player co-op. So yeah, that would have definitely been my favourite arcade game back in the day, and it still is one of my favourites now. But yeah, I think now and through the ages, I've got to give mentions to other games like Strikers 1945, Mortal Kombat 2, Killer Instinct. Yeah, just games like that. Sega Rally Championship, again, is just another arcade cab that I would spend hours on. So there you go. But yeah, probably overall my most favourite arcade game has got to be Double Dragon. If I was going to get a dedicated cab, then that would probably be the one that I would search out first. So Double Dragon.
And the last question is, what is your favourite genre? Now I know you like your 2D fighters, so I also want to ask a bonus question. What are your favourite 2D fighters? Let me know. Alright, mate, cheers, thanks again, and of course congratulations, mate. Definitely well deserved, bruv.
Yeah, I would probably have to go for fighters actually. I don't think that's any big surprise to anyone really, but yeah, I think you nailed it. Fighters are probably my favourite genre, just because yeah, the pick up and play element of it, and you can just dive into a fighting game and have a lot of fun on them and stuff like that. So yeah, it probably would be fighters. And for your bonus question, my favourite 2D fighters off top of my head, again without mentioning the game that I've already mentioned, so let's mention its sister series or little brother series, whatever you want to go for, and that would be the Street Fighter Alpha series, great 2D fighters. Darkstalkers games, great 2D fighters. One that I'm really enjoying at the moment that I've only discovered in recent years, and that's the Guilty Gear X series. Yeah, really like that, so I'll put that up there. And of course the Marvel vs Capcom games, they're flawless as well. So there you go, there's some of my favourite 2D fighting games. Thanks very much for your questions, Rob. Can we have the next set of questions, please? I said, can we have the next set of questions, please?
Hey Shockz, how you doing, mate? You know me, I'm Cybersnake7 and I'm just getting my arse handed to me on the Death and Return of Superman. So, while I've got a couple of minutes, I just want to congratulate you, mate, on reaching 700 subs. A major achievement for your channel, a fantastic channel, and you're just an all-round top guy, so I wish you the best in the future, mate. So, question number 1. You have got nearly a full PAL set of Sega Saturn games. How many games have you actually completed in that set?
Well, as you know, since you actually made this video, I have now completed the PAL Sega Saturn set, and out of them, I've got to come clean and say I haven't completed very many at all. I would say I've completed around about 20 of those games, and I would say probably about 10 of those games are what I actually completed back in the day too. So, you know what I mean? As far as new games that I've completed at that set, about 10 more on top of that. But then you can include sports games, you know what I mean? You've got like PGA Tour Golf, PGA Tour Golf, I said it right the first time. And then you've got FIFA and stuff like that. Can you really complete them kind of games? I mean, I class them games complete if you win like the cups or the leagues and stuff like that. So if you're going to count them as well, then probably around about 25 games. But that's the great thing about having a full set. Anytime that I want to just go in there, pick a game, I can. Any game that I want, sit down and I can just play it start to finish. So yeah, that's one of the beauties of a full set, I think. But as it stands now, not many. I'd say about 20 to 25 if you're going to count sports games.
Question number 2. I know you're a movie buff. We've talked about films often enough. Now, tell me your top 3 all-time movies.
Well, you see, I'm always chopping and changing my favourite movies, but yeah, there's always normally a certain few that stay within the top 10. So as of now, as recording this, my top 3 favourite movies are, mentioned earlier, The Running Man. Arnold Schwarzenegger classic 80s action, yeah, just brilliant. Arnie at his best, the quips, the one-liners at the best, the action at its best. Just a film that you cannot remake. Well, you can remake it, but it'll probably be utter shite. So yeah, my favourite Arnold Schwarzenegger movie of all time, The Running Man. The second is none other than The Godfather. Now this is the collection, but the one I want to talk about is Godfather Part 2. Because as much as I adore the first movie, the second one was just a little bit better for me. Yeah, how do you build upon a character, on that Marlon Brando character of Don Corleone? You go back and you tell a prequel, but you also keep the film as a sequel, so it's like part prequel, part sequel, and then you get one of the best actors around in the business, Robert De Niro, to play a young Don Corleone, and yeah, a young Vito Corleone, should I say, and yeah, that's how you make it better. So Godfather Part 2, and yeah, finishing on Snatch. This film is absolutely amazing. I love this film. I can quote this movie start to finish, yeah, line for line. It is brilliant. Got some of the best characters in it, and Brad Pitt, this has got to be one of Brad Pitt's best roles if you ask me, because you actually forget that you are watching Brad Pitt. Do you know what I mean? Absolutely brilliant. You've got Statham in there, you've got Vinnie Jones in there, and of course you've got Alan Ford, Bricktop. Do you know what Nemesis means? So yeah, they're my 3 favourite films as it stands right now.
Third and final question is this. Now, you can't include me, but you're stuck on a desert island and you're there for the rest of your days. What 5 YouTubers would you want to share that island with?
Actually, Jay, this isn't as a harder question as you might have thought it would be, because for me, it's not about survival on an island. Do you know what I mean? Whether I survive or not is out of the question. It's about just the people I'm there with. So if I've got to take 5 YouTubers, then I want them 5 YouTubers to be the people that I'm the bestest of mates with on YouTube, out of YouTube. And so that would be none other than Gashead Steve, Interghost Adam, Dan Central aka Colossal Vids, and Daz Cojones Deloro. And it's a pity that I couldn't have you there as the 5th mate, but you've ruled yourself out, so I'm gonna have to cheat a little bit. But technically he is a YouTuber, even though he don't upload videos. He has a channel on that, and that's Templar's Grail, aka our mate Paul, who you've probably seen in some of my videos and Interghost videos in the past. So yeah, they would be my 5. Like I say, survival isn't really key for me. Yeah, if I die, I'm not bothered as long as I've got some good mates there with me. So yeah, and I think they would be the 5 best people to have fun and a laugh with before I die, or before I get rescued or whatever, or before we come up with some plan and build a raft and yeah, whatever. So there you go, that would be my 5 people. Thanks very much, Jay, for your questions, and of course for submitting your video. So our next set of questions come overseas from none other than Vampire Mike himself. Let's see what he's got to say.
Back once again, it's the Renegade. Oh, wait. Wrong person. Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to give a very big congratulations to my buddy Adam, aka Shockz16. Adam just announced on Facebook that he has 700 subscribers, which is a lot, and he deserves way more because he does really great content. The guy's heart's totally into everything, so not to kiss his ass too much. You gotta keep him humble, you gotta make sure he gets a little off his high horse, but great content, and if I can get more subs than him, something's wrong. He needs more subs. Let's go. So, Adam wanted to do a Q&A video, and he asked some of his friends or enemies for questions. My questions are, first, how did you get into collecting for the Sega Saturn, and do you find it difficult? Sort of a two-parter, because you're in Europe. So I know the Saturn was really big in Japan, really wasn't huge in America, and I think it did okay in the UK, but I'm not sure in comparables. I don't think it did as well as Japan. Japan, it did really well. So, I never really see Saturn stuff out in the wild, so that's why I ask.
Well, I got into the Sega Saturn because I didn't get one on release, but I had one back in the day not long after release here in the UK. So yeah, it was a system that I begged my parents to get me. They came through for me and actually got it for me, and yeah, I just loved the system to death. But because you're a kid, you've got to keep up with the people in the playground and your mates and everything, so you've got to keep up with the Joneses, aren't you, when you're that age? And yeah, like the fickle little kid that I was, I jumped ship to the PlayStation, and it was only after a couple of years, probably not even a couple of years, a very short time owning the Sega Saturn, that I jumped ship. And it was a big mistake. I should never have done it. I should have stuck with it till the end, or dragged it out for a bit longer anyway. I should have stuck with it a bit longer than I did. Basically being young, jumping ship, and a big regret. So when I started collecting games again from my childhood, the Sega Saturn was one of the most nostalgic consoles to me, and yeah, it was kind of like a bit more niche than it is now. It's picked up a bit of steam, hasn't it, with collectors now, Sega Saturn, and I just thought, do you know what, this is a system that I wouldn't mind just going for a full set on. So that's how I got into collecting for the system. And how difficult is it to collect for the system? I would say relatively easy. Most games are available, and what you can't get out in the wild or at indie stores or at conventions and stuff like that, then you can just get them off eBay. Honestly, I've had no trouble really sourcing any games. There's probably one or two that you'd have to bide your time on, but yeah, collecting for it, relatively easy.
Secondly, what is your favorite full motion video game, or maybe a game that has full motion video clips in it, like I don't know, something like Stellar Fire, or what's that submarine one on the Dreamcast? It's not Deep Fear. I can't think of the name. Anyway, under something? I don't know. Anyway, there's clips of full motion video in between with real people. So like live actors. What game do you like that has live actors in it for the Saturn, or clips of live actors?
Now, I'm sorry, Mike, but I've got to admit that FMV games was never really a thing for me. I wasn't into them back in the day, and it's something now that only as an adult now that I've started to appreciate more, but more for the nostalgia factor and stuff for it. But yeah, I imagine that there's some really good FMV games out there that have just passed me by because I haven't really looked out for it to play any. But I will tell you a game that I have played actually that has FMV sequences in it, and that is Shinobi X on the Sega Saturn. And yeah, the game itself is very much a 2D side-scrolling affair, but if you complete a level you get FMV cutscenes at the end of it, and they're done in the style of an old kung fu movie, so it's kind of cheesy but kind of really good at the same time. It's, yeah, if you've never played that game, I would say pick it up if you can at a decent price, if nothing more than to see the cutscenes, or if you can just see the cutscenes online or something, maybe here on YouTube, then look them up, because I think they're great. So yeah, I'm going to go for Shinobi X.
And finally, do you like dags?
Of course you like dogs, it's not a big fucker, a little fucker, you know what I'm saying? Bad, you fucking handle you, you little fucker, you little fucker, yeah, so yeah, I do like dags. Now fuck off before I send you marrying you. Thanks very much for your questions, Mike, and of course for submitting your videos. Now the last set of videos and questions come from none other than a good friend of mine, Dan at Colossal Vids. So let's see what he's got to ask me.
Right, Shockz, how's it going? It's your broski Dan here. Now, some of you out there know me as Dan Central, and some of you know me as Dan at Colossal Vids. Now, obviously, this is my questions to Shockz16 for his 700 subs special. I actually made him aware that he was even at 700 subs in the first place. So, yeah, as soon as I told him, he was like, no way, and then decided that he would do a 700 subs Q&A. So, I've got basically some questions for you to answer, Mr. Shockz16. Question 1 for you, Mr. Shockz16, from Dan at Colossal Vids is, if you could have any games character as a pet, who would it be and why?
Right, so if I could have any game character as a pet, I don't know. I've actually been trying to think of this, but off the top of my head, I can only think of like, do you know what I mean? I'm a bit of a boring bastard when it comes to pets. I don't really do pets. I've explained in the past why I don't do pets, but that's another story. So if I had to have one, I'd probably go for a pet that you can probably have in real life. So I was thinking of something like a dog. So then I was thinking of games with dogs in it, and I thought of the dog from the Fallout series, or like Fallout 3, Fallout 4 anyway. But then I thought, no, why just stick at a dog when you can go for something bigger and fiercer and something that you can also have trained? So from the same game, from Fallout 3 or Fallout 4, whatever, I'm going to go for the, I don't know how you say it actually, I'll put a picture up so you know what I'm talking about, and I think it's called a Yao Guai, or a Yue Guai, something like that. Basically, it's a bear with no skin in that. It's a bear, what bears would look like if after a nuclear fallout. So yeah, I'd have one of those bad boys, because if you've got the animal friend perk, you can, like, it's trained and it will attack your enemies for you and stuff like that. So how cool would it be having that bad boy by your side? Yeah, I'd have one of them bad boys. A Yui Guai, I don't even know how you say that word. I'd have one of them.
Question number 2. If you were a Pokemon, what would you be called and what would you look like?
Well, I'd be called Shockz16, of course, and I'd probably look a little something like this. Catch me if you can, bitch.
Question 3. If you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Hey, little Shockz, come here. Yeah, bit of advice for your future self. Yeah, when you grow up, you're going to meet a man called Dan. Yeah, that's right, he's going to have a YouTube channel called Colossal Vids. Don't trust him, okay? Sound advice for the future.
And an additional sort of mini question 4, I guess, which I suppose you don't have to answer, but I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. What came first? The chicken or the egg?
The chicken or the egg? Chicken or the egg? Chicken or the egg? And that's how you make a chicken omelette.
So that's it, guys. That's all the questions that I'm going to feature in this episode. If you did ask me some questions and you're thinking, where are mine? Like I said, this was just the video edition. So your questions that you asked on other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, etc. are going to be in other parts. So look out for them if you asked a question. And yeah, because it will probably feature in another part. So until then, I will see you in the next part of the Q&A. Bye bye for now.